Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three. Got it.
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. Up and in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone.
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Huge top 25 series at PK Park begins tonight at 5 o'clock. Duck baseball hosting Arizona State. Oregon 2.5 games behind Arizona State for first place in the Pac-12. That's tonight. It continues at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and then at noon on Sunday. Duck softball is on the road. 3 o'clock, first pitch in Berkeley. Student radio station KWVA's got the broadcast. Our buddy Ryan Milano has made it down there. And the NFL draft yesterday. We're going to review that, continue to preview some of the NFL draft, some pro Ducks hearing their names called here this weekend. And, of course, it is spring game Saturday, 1 o'clock. Officially a 1:07 kickoff. Jerry and Jorgie and myself will have the call running around at Autzen Stadium at 1 o'clock. Oregon soccer precedes the start of the football spring game, 11 a.m. at Pape Field. Parking lots open at 10:30. Get the parking ahead of time. GoDucks.com has you covered. It's $5 for season ticket holders. It is $10 for the general public. There's also some other parking lots around that are doing day of parking, but if you want to park in one of the Oregon parking lots, you need to have it ahead of time. 10:30 is when the parking lots open. There's also going to be a number of things going on pregame. Sights and sounds from the military featured around the Mashofsky Center and the Autzen Complex, including that howitzer cannon. Whew. It's one of the coolest things you're going to see, I'm telling you. There will also be a flyover, of course, as part of the national anthem. So much going on. There's also going to be basically a party in the HDC Plaza postgame, which includes a DJ, going to be an awesome time. Spring game, 1 o'clock, green versus yellow. Marcus Mariota, the guest coach for green. Javon Holland, the guest coach for yellow. And a bunch of Oregon alumni are coming back. I'm going to be running around on the sideline talking to all of them, and I'm really looking forward to you being able to hear some of that. All the details are on GoDucks.com. If you have any questions, GoDucks.com has you covered with the spring game details. It's going to be a great day. It's also going to be like 79 degrees at kickoff. Bright sun. It always is this way for the spring game, isn't it? Baseball tonight, though. This is a huge, huge matchup for Duck baseball. Here's the conference standings. Arizona State, 13-4. Stanford, 13-5. Ducks have a series win over the Cardinal. Oregon and USC are both 11-7. ASU had a game get canceled earlier this year, so they may end up with another loss in the loss column. We'll find out. But if the Ducks take care of business here at home, Oregon may find itself atop the Pac-12 standings after this weekend. Huge, huge game. ASU can really hit. Jay Stoffel can really pitch. One time this year, back-to-back Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week. Oh, I am so excited to be at PK Park tonight. 4:45, the pregame show. We've got the Quack Video live stream tonight as well. Alex Stimson will be directing with his crew, and then Jordan and I will be in the booth for what is going to be a really, really awesome game. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour as well, Oregon Acrobatics and Tumbling, the semifinals of the national championships. It's on ESPN Plus starting at 1:30. Ducks projected to win. They didn't have their best meet yesterday and were victorious. Acrobatics and tumbling, 1:30 this afternoon. They're in action. And then in Boulder, Oregon women's lacrosse at 3 o'clock on the Colorado live stream, finishing up their regular season. Now the NFL draft. Oregon cornerback Christian Gonzalez, selected by the New England Patriots with the number 17 overall pick Thursday night. Gonzalez becomes just the 4th Oregon defensive back to be taken in the first round. He joins Alex Molden, Mario Clark, and Jim Smith. He is the 9th defensive first-round pick in program history and a second in a row for the Ducks after Kayvon Thibodeau went number 5 in the 22 NFL draft. Oregon now has 21 total first-round picks, including 9 since 2013 and 12 since 2000. 4 of Oregon's 9 defensive first-round selections have come since 2015. That puts in context the success of Oregon football, right? It doesn't surprise you that as Oregon football has risen in national acclaim, that you're also seeing really good NFL talent come from these rosters. Gonzalez was the first Pac-12 player taken in the draft, and he is the 4th Duck ever to be selected by the Patriots. And a guy by the name of Patrick Chung, another defensive back, went to the Patriots in 2009. Worked out pretty good for him. Pretty long NFL career for Patrick Chung. Gonzalez was an all Pac-12 first-team selection. He started all 12 regular season games in his lone season with the Ducks. He led Oregon, with 4 interceptions, 3rd most in the Pac-12, finished with 50 total tackles. Gonzalez tied for 6th in the Pac-12 with 11 passes defended, and he joins an illustrious list of all-time first-round picks for the Ducks. Ducks with a first-rounder last year in 21 and in 20. Kayvon Thibodeau, Penei Sewell, Justin Herbert, 4 straight years with a first-round pick. Nice stuff for the Ducks. Of course, DeForest Buckner, Marcus Mariota, Eric Armstead, Deion Jordan, Kyle Long, Jonathan Stewart, Haloti Ngata, Joey Harrington, Akili Smith, Alex Molden, Chris Miller, Mario Clark, Russ Francis, Ahmad Rashad, Tim Drugas, Jim Smith, George Shaw. Those are the all-time first-round draft picks in Oregon history. It's pretty cool. I always think about this every time the NFL draft comes around. George Shaw was the number 1 overall pick in 1955 to the Baltimore Colts. Well, it's so amazing that Oregon's first ever first-round pick went number 1 overall. So now we know that we will never see anybody get drafted higher than George Shaw, and it was the first ever guy drafted. You love that, right? First ever first-round pick, number 1 overall. Ducks have had some others that have been close, like Marcus going number 2. And, yeah, pretty cool, though, if you look back at the history. So, NFL draft. That's awesome for Christian Gonzalez. Really, really excited for him. We're going to get time out. When we come back, some Oregon interviews from practice. Tony Tuioti, Noah Whittington, Kyrie Jackson, Casey Rogers, and Tysheem Johnson. Haven't gotten to them yet this week. They all talked to the media, and the spring game's tomorrow, so it's time to get to them on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I've been driving trucks for a long time, and safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. Call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
Back on Doug Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. The Duck baseball squad getting ready for a 5 o'clock first pitch against Arizona State. 3 o'clock tomorrow following the spring game, noon on Sunday. It's a top 25 battle. Going to keep previewing that for you. But Tony Tuioti on the defensive line for the Ducks, I think really likes the depth of his group. And anytime Coach Tuioti talks, you're going to want to listen. Talking defensive line heading into Saturday's spring game with the position coach, Tony Tuioti.
Do you feel like your group could be the strength of this team?
Yeah, I think they can. I think they, every single day, they're working really, really hard. It's not easy to play in the trenches. I'm super excited that we got a lot of vets that are coming back. But the thing I'm really more excited about is that they actually get a chance to do spring ball. When you think about it, last year, Brandon Dolis wasn't doing spring ball. Keon wasn't doing spring ball. Popo wasn't doing spring ball. So these reps that they're gaining now, is going to be super valuable for them moving forward.
I was going to say for Popo in particular, you didn't get to see him in spring. You barely got to see him in fall camp before the injury. Yeah. So now that you're going to finally have a chance to see him for a prolonged period, heard he was quite productive in the first scrimmage in particular. What is he bringing this spring? Where do you feel like the player you've got now versus the guy you saw really on tape and really hadn't a chance to see yet?
Yeah, I think with added years comes maturity, comes experience. He's shown a lot of flash. He's a combination player that can hold the point and play the nose guard position, can play the defensive tackle position. He's got a lot of athleticism for his size. He's about 305 now, very twitchy. So I'm really excited about what he's going to be able to do. So he's done a great job with the trainers and getting himself healthy, and Chief and them have done a great job getting him ready to go. So I expect him to have a really good season if he continues staying on track.
You really need him to be, you want all your guys to be productive in the backfield. It's not, but him specifically, you really need him to be a disruptive pass rush kind of guy from the 2-eye and shade and zero. You really need that out of him particularly.
Yeah, we need that out of all our guys, whoever's playing in there. But he definitely can do that. He brings added value on third down. He's somebody that can play all three downs. Some players you have that they can only do first, second down, and everybody's got a specific role. But the thing that makes Popo really special is that he's a three-down player, and he can provide interior pass rush for us. And so we're going to need that, and I'm really excited that, he's just trending in the right way. He's in a good mental space, good physical space. So I'm just really happy for him and his progress so far.
Taki was forthright about he wasn't very happy with how his season went last year, and I understand injury was a big part of that. But what do you feel like he was just missing last year other than the injury, and where has he progressed here so far this offseason to get back to the player he was?
Yeah, I think for him just being year two in the system, allows him to play faster and not think so much. I think there's a lot of growth in that with a lot of our players now. They're playing a lot faster. They're thinking less, so now they can really focus on their fundamental technique and play within the scheme of the defense. For somebody like Taki, just having another year, he truly understands where everybody fits, what's expected of him on defense. So for him, it's just getting in the best shape he can possibly be in, because he's a guy that definitely can command four hands, and if they try to single him, he's going to win his fair share of battles.
Casey Rogers, another guy going into year two of the system. Just how have you seen him improve, and how have you seen him do it this so far there in spring camp?
Yeah, it's a totally different Casey Rogers. I've been with him for a long time now. He's sitting at 300 pounds now. So last year he was playing at 290. So you got a bigger Casey Rogers that's bigger, faster, and stronger. So really excited about what he's been able to do. This is his he didn't have a spring ball last year at Nebraska. So you're talking about four guys that didn't have any spring ball reps, and they came in and played the season last year, as opposed to now they got all these reps ready to go. So I'm just really excited about his growth. He's a great team leader, does a great job just helping the young guys get better too.
It's a highlight reel play for him at the end of the Holiday Bowl, But can you explain to like the layman, to the fan, that getting a 3-tech out on the edge against the eventual first round quarterback to tackle him by the shoulders, it's not easy. There's not a lot of guys who go out and do that.
Yeah, and we put a high premium in our room about effort plays and stack monsters, and Casey takes a lot of pride in that. There's only so many plays you can make within the box, and you still extra productions outside the box, whether they're gonna, especially now with college football, big time, jet sweeps and screen games. So you got to be able to show up there too. And Casey takes a lot of pride in that. But in that particular game in North Carolina, we needed that stop. And that stop helped us get a field goal instead of a touchdown, which could have totally changed the game. So that's just how he plays. He's a true blue-collar guy. I love that about Casey. He sets a great example for our guys and what it means to play like a duck up front, but also what it means to like break the stack and go make plays.
Johnny Bones is a guy who physically really stands out. He's a big kid. What have you seen from him so far this first spring?
Yeah, Johnny's shown flashes. Again, in this system, it takes a while to learn it. But he's got some natural physical abilities. He's 290. He can run really fast. Probably one of our faster D linemen up front. So he can rush the quarterback. He's got long levers. But really excited about where he's come so far and what he can do for us in the future, because he can definitely add some pass rush value for us.
Dorlus was a guy just so forthright long before you ever got here that last year was supposed to be his final year.
Right.
That was always the plan.
Mm-hmm.
He said it the year before, I'm coming back, I'm going to be in the draft this time.
Yep.
Take us into those conversations about, obviously you want him back selfishly, but where you felt like he could most enhance his game by coming back.
Yeah, I think for, not just for him, I think for all of us across the board, it's always about the growth mindset. And the challenge for him is he wants to go as high as he can go. And I felt like last year, we sat down and talked, and there's a lot of plays that he was in position to make, but just didn't make it, and he missed for some reason. So, the big key for us this year is just getting him in position again, because he definitely can get there, but just finish the plays. And so he's done a really good job. Again, just having this offseason of training and working out is going to pay huge dividends for him. And he knows and he understands that, and he's attacking this like this is his last one, and so he's put all his eggs in one basket, and he's done a great job.
Is Jordan Birch working mainly with you or with Tony?
Yeah, no, he's in and out of both rooms. Same thing as Dorlus. We try to cross-train these guys. They're on the edges, but having Birch in the room, that's another big guy on the edge. You get Dorlus and Birch on the outside. You get Mason outside. You get Mateo out there. There's a lot of really good depth, to be able to help us out in terms of affecting the quarterback and being able to play the run too as well. So really excited about having those guys in there.
Do you view him as like a 5'6", out to a wide 9, or do you
he
think
can play all of that? Yeah, he can play all of that. Just like Dorlus can play a 5, can play a 6, can play a 9. With Dorlus, he's got the position flex to slide in and be a 3 technique and take advantage of less athletic guards. So we have the ability to do that, but we have some young guys that we added to the roster too that can really go. So really excited about, just the depth we have up front with the edge guys and inside guys. So.
With those guys specifically, Tony, with pass rush was just such an issue for you guys last year, and it was the year before you guys got here. But do you feel like you have the volume of those high gear edge guys that you want, that you need? I mean, you always want more, I get that, but do you feel like you have, when that was an issue that got to address this?
Right.
Do you feel like you're there?
I think we do. I think we're trending in the right way. We got to, we finally have a chance to have a full season of recruiting and getting the roster where we want to. Adding Mattel in at the end. You got Tatum out there in the edge too, Winston, you got Birch. There's some big guys out there now that can rush, and then you got interior rushers now. You can slide Dorlus inside. You got Popo, you got Taki, you got Casey, you got Keon. I feel like we can really mass sub these guys like hockey and keep fresh rushers, and that's a big key in terms of getting after the quarterback. And I feel like we got a good group of guys that take a lot of pride in that can do it.
What specifically have you seen from Birch that gives you the impression that he'll be able to get after the quarterback during these practices? Just
the sheer physical size, speed, and power. A lot of offensive tackles are not used to seeing guys that are that big on the edge. You can see some of that in the NFL where you got, big guys that can go from speed to power on the edge. Dorlus can do that, but then you add, Mattel's not a small guy either. And that's another big guy that can rush on the edge. And so then you got Mace. So we got guys on the edges that can rush, and we got some guys on the interior that can really push the pocket too. So
what have you seen in Tatum's transition from, local high school ball to this level?
Really proud of him just in terms of how he's attacking it. The room is deep in the edges, but he's just working really, really hard. You know, we talk about hedgehog. That's some of the things that we talk about in our Get Real session with Coach Landon he brought here. And one of the things we talk about is like everybody's got a specific skill set. Like, what's your hedgehog? What do you do really good? And to me, as his dad, he plays hard. You know, you might be able to block him and play 1, but he's going to come hard, play 2, play 3, play 10. It's going to be the same thing. And so that's where he's going to end up winning. But just really proud of his development and learning from the guys. And, you know, so he's been doing really good.
Obviously tonight, not a D-line, but there could be a first-round pick tonight for the Ducks from last year in the NFL draft. What's the feeling like for Christian today, and what's he going to bring to whoever picks him tonight?
Yeah, really excited. You know, he's an elite competitor. Great ball skills. He can run pretty much with any wide receiver. You know, and he's shown that every Saturday. And so the thing I really love about Gonzo that a lot of people don't know is in the bowl game, he was with us. You know, he could easily just hung out at the hotel or at home and just watched it, but he was at practice. He was with the guys, teaching. He's a true ball guy. So really excited about him and also about the other guys and get a chance to get their names called this weekend. So it's great for Oregon football. It's great for the Ducks. So really excited about those guys.
Have you seen some new things from Tatum or kind of learned some things from him actually getting to coach him in practice now and just kind of develop that relationship with him a little bit further?
I mean, he's been with me for a long time, so there's nothing that he does that surprises me. I'm just glad that he's able to come and help our team out, and he's willing to do anything and everything he can to help our team out and win. So just glad with the progress that he's making, and he's humble. He's going to work hard, and he's going to bring his best to the table every day.
The defense was able to make some big plays last spring game. What are you sort of expecting out of the team this side?
Same thing, especially on the green side, because I'm on the green side. But it's going to be fun. We had a little, a mock scrimmage today with green and yellow, which was really cool. We had a chance to work situational football. So, I just want to see our guys up front be able to go out there and execute their job and play to the best of their ability and put on a good show for all the Duck fans that are coming.
I was gonna say, you get good on good 15 times over here in the spring, but when, like, the yellow team has Casey and Dorless and green team has basically your starting line, most of your starting line, that this is a valuable scrimmage and assessment point for you guys because ones-on-ones in front of 50,000 people.
Yes, no doubt. I mean, our mindset going into Saturday is it's just these guys compete they know every rep they take, every time they line up, they're on film. Like, it's an opportunity for them to compete because at the end of the day, there's only so many reps to go around. So this Saturday it's no different. The only difference now, there's people in the stands. So whether there's one people in there or whether there's 50,000 people, our mindset's going to be we're going as hard as we can. We're not going to change our approach. We're going to go out there and try to win every rep we can.
Last question. I feel like you're talking about like situational stuff, Tony, that maybe last year, for any number of reasons, injury, depth, whatever, that whether it was third and long stuff or shorter stuff, that you guys did have some situational packages, but whether you call it cheetahs or whatever, pass rush, rabbits, that maybe didn't have quite the volume of guys for that or the volume of the short yardage and run stopping necessarily to go as extreme, whereas this year you might have a little bit more variety there.
Yeah, I think through recruiting, the portal and recruiting, we were able to upgrade our roster. On defense, we got more length, we got power. I mean, you look at now, we got Justin, that's a big inside linebacker too now, that's a thumper that can play, that can run. So, you add Birch in there and, we got guys that can really get after the quarterback, and we feel like we got guys that are stout enough up front to be able to stop the run. And then at the end of the day, too, it's year 2 in the system. We get a chance to understand, like, what are we really supposed to do within the scheme of the defense and let our fundamental and technique take over from there.
Tony Tuioti, the Oregon defensive line coach, and interview began with if he feels like it could be a real strength of the team, that position group. I think it will be. I think that there's depth, there's experience, there's a lot of talent. I think the D-line is good. I think you're going to see a lot of different guys playing in different spots along the D-line. One of those guys is Casey Rogers, another guy who is back again for a second year in the system. We're going to get a timeout. Hear from Casey Rogers coming up. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Dear Sharp Turns, Toyota has more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand. Get a grip in the stylish Camry, the elegant Crown, the striking new Prius, or the sharp Corolla. Get to Toyota.com already. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit InsureKidsNow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider is presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Tobias was asking earlier, Chase Cota projected to go undrafted. How? I don't know. I don't get it either. I think he'd be a good player in the next level. And then Ifo, yeah, he was a second-round pick, I believe. Well, I take that back. Ifo fell. He was projected first round. Ifo fell. I don't remember off the top of my head. He fell because he got hurt, remember? He got hurt in December before the Ducks bowl game. He was the 241st player overall picked, 7th round, to the Browns. And that was because he got hurt. He was projected to go first round. I remember that. And then he got hurt. That's what happened. God, such a good player. I think he's going to be back at Autzen Stadium. Casey Rogers, a guy who transferred in last year, really helped the Ducks out, made a critical play in the Holiday Bowl. We just talked about that with him on the Quack Minute this week. Casey Rogers met with the media talking about the defensive line group heading into the spring game on Saturday. Casey Rogers.
The long wait is close to over in terms of getting out there at Autzen again and playing before fans. Just what's the anticipation level of Saturday?
Yes, I mean, spring games are always a fun way to end your spring camp, and especially in a stadium like Autzen. We've been working really hard this whole spring. It's never been there's been no days off, to say the least. Guys have been grinding day in and day out, and it's been a really fun thing. It's been really exciting to see our team grow this spring, especially with young guys coming in and seeing them at the beginning of spring, just fresh and raw, and then getting a month into the system and the weightlifting and stuff like that, and seeing that transition and that transformation was really cool. The team's fighting right now. It's really been a fun couple of weeks. We split up in green and yellow today, and it's the crowd's in for a show. It's going to be really fun. It's pretty competitive out there today.
I was going to ask you how you're feeling about your team after getting out there a little bit.
Yeah, no, usually, I mean, you would think that on the last day of spring ball, guys are beat up and sore, and we're half pads today, but that was definitely not the case today. It was really fun to get out there. We were talking a lot of smack to each other, having fun with each other, and Coach Lanning says it all. Competition is what drives success. So to be able to have friendly competition out there and get after it, and we were saying all day, like, this is the start to Saturday, like, we're gonna get after it now and show them that Saturday's not gonna be fun for them. So it was really a good time out there today, and like we said, competitiveness drives success. So it was really fun.
So many veteran defenders came back this year, and just kind of wonder what you think about just that experience, that return, especially from your group of just guys who played 3, 4. Popo's been here 6 or 7 years or whatever it is. Just what does that provide you guys?
Yeah, no, it's obviously with a group and a room full of veterans, the culture is going to be pretty good, and I think that a lot of guys coming back kind of says a lot about the culture here. Guys want to be here. There's a lot of good things happening in Oregon football, and I can speak for myself. I just didn't want to miss that. I had one more year. I have an opportunity to come back one more year, and after sitting down with my family, we decided that was the best option for me, and it would have been really hard to leave this situation. So I'm really excited that I stayed. I'm just to be able to have one more year under Coach Teote and Coach Lanning and Coach Tosh. It's only going to make me a much better football player. So I'm just excited to be able to have another year.
How has that experience helped your position group as well? Because there's a lot of young guys too, where they're getting an opportunity to see some really proven players do it.
Yeah, exactly. When I was a young guy, I was in a similar situation in a room full of a bunch of vets, and the best thing you can do there is just be a sponge. And that's what those guys have done. Mikael Gardner has soaked things up. He's probably one of the most advanced freshmen I've ever seen come in and pick up a scheme and pick up technique and stuff like that in the first couple of weeks and months he's been here. Vita's coming along a long way too. He's doing really well. He's a nose guard, so it's different coming from high school. There's a lot bigger guys in college, so he was able to transform in the weight room, and this spring really work on his technique, and it's been really cool to watch those guys. And they're pretty lucky they got a room full of veterans where they can be a sponge and lean on them and really ask them questions. And I think the cool thing about that is us as veterans, we're open to them all the time. We know that if we're on the field, we got to be able to trust them, and so we're working just as hard to get them right with their technique and what they're doing on the field. So it's kind of cool. The room right now is really close, and we're all leaning on each other, and it's just been a really good, productive spring.
So you're seeing those freshmen come to you guys, being an open book, trying to gain knowledge.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, it's a day in and day out thing. They're coming up to us, they're asking us questions. They know that the room's pretty deep with knowledge right now. We got a bunch of wise old men, so they're coming to us and they're asking a lot of questions, and they're taking advantage of it, which is awesome to see.
How does that mentorship work in terms of do you take a guy and for example, like Mikael, your guy, and you're focusing, or is it just collectively everybody kind of looking out for?
It's honestly it's whoever they reach out to. I don't think any guy's going to turn down if they called any of us. No one's going to turn down that phone call. Like I said, we got to be able to be out in the field with them and be able to trust that they know what they're doing. So it works both ways too. So it's been something this spring that we've emphasized is get with an old guy. It doesn't matter who. Mikael is more of a 3 technique, so he could come to me or Keon, and Vita could go to Taki or Popo. Or they can go to anyone to say the least. So it's been a really good spring with that part of the connection part of getting the young guys up to date and stuff like that.
How different is this spring for you personally? Last year compared to last year, you came in a little bit later. Now he's a veteran leader on this team. How different is it for you?
Yeah, I would just say the whole off season has been super beneficial. Like last year, I had a quick operation done in December. I didn't really get a winter workouts. Didn't get to compete in spring ball. So just to be able to regain all my strength and then have a spring ball has made a night and day difference. I think this is probably one of the best springs personally I've ever had. So just being able to get back in the weight room again, get my strength back. It was kind of tough. Like last year, I was coming into fall camp just out of rehab. And I kind of was like my leg was strong, but it wasn't as strong as it should have been. And so it was kind of a lot of times I was kind of winging it, didn't really know how strong my leg was, and there was times where I could see, all right, I got to get this strengthened up. But now having a full off season to worry about strength and conditioning, and then go out on the field and worry about technique, it makes a huge difference in the season. Not striking a pad from December to whenever we started last year was a huge it was bad for me, and I couldn't do a lot, and my technique was really rusty. But now having spring ball to work on that has been night and day, and like I said, this is probably one of the best springs I've ever had. So.
Do you feel like year 1 to year 2, the physicality has improved across the board from this team? It's someone who plays where it's the most physical on the field.
Yeah, no, I think me and Jackson were just talking about Jackson Powers Johnson. Were just talking about this the other day. It's a dogfight every practice. One of us is going to be bruised after practice every day. So it's been really physical across the line, both offense and defensive line. It's probably the most physical spring I've ever been a part of, which is a good thing. That makes it that's what you want in the spring. You want it to be physical, because you have a lot more time to recover after the end of spring ball. So, we've been really banging heads in the trenches, and it's paid off. It's been really good this spring.
How hard would that be just to go back to the spring game and then have to play with slight caution, not wanting to injure anyone? How hard would that transition be?
There is no transition, not for the yellow team.
Okay.
Nah, it's you can't have fear. You can't have that fear. No fear. You gotta have a desire to excel. No fear of failure. So it's other than the quarterback, obviously we can't touch him. But it's gonna be ooh, that's a big bug. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be trench warfare. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be physical. I don't think the spring game's gonna be any different than our practices. We're gonna be competitive. We're gonna be physical. It's just gonna be a good time.
Going back to kind of the younger guys and mentoring them, what are you hoping to see from some of those guys on Saturday, and what would be a successful day for them?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first spring game. It was the first time in front of a crowd, and in the Austin environment is going to be really special for them. Just get the calls right, and do their technique, and just hold up the standard of the D-line, and just compete and have fun. It's a special experience, the first time you run out of a tunnel like that. So just enjoy the moment, and I just want to see those guys have fun and be productive, because they've been working really hard and they deserve a good production day. And then another thing is get their name out there. A lot of people are really curious about what they're like, how they're doing, and that's a perfect opportunity to show the world what they stand for and how they play.
Casey Rogers, I like that talking there. First time that he played in front of a big crowd was in his spring game. Hope that's the environment tomorrow. A lot of fans coming. Thanks for making the trip to Autzen Stadium. Going to make it a pretty darn special spring game. Now, some of the newcomers, but not necessarily new to major college football. Talking with Kyrie Jackson, Tysheem Johnson. That's coming up as we preview the spring game here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen. And you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon baseball tonight. Previewing the spring game. You know who's throwing out the first pitch at PK Park tonight? Bo Nix. Dan Lanning didn't throw a strike when he threw out the first pitch on Wednesday. Feel like Bo Nix is going to throw a strike in the first pitch tonight. 5 o'clock. 4:45 pregame show for the Ducks against Arizona State, a top 25 matchup at PK Park. Now, continuing to talk a little Oregon football, Kyrie Jackson, defensive back, transferred in from Alabama. And I'll tell you, as a junior at Alabama, he played in 9 games. As a sophomore at Alabama, he played in 12 games. depth at corner, special teams, trying to break through to be a regular starter at the Power 5 level. And he's got the talent. Got to know Kyrie Jackson a little bit ahead of this matchup with the Ducks on Saturday.
Kyrie, just why Oregon? What went into that decision?
I felt like the relationship I had with Coach Lannon. Before I made my decision to go to Alabama, Georgia was in my top 5 already, so I feel like we had a good relationship. It's a pretty seamless transition. The defense is the same. Yeah.
So you said that the defense is the same.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you fit into it through, 12 practices in now?
Yeah, I feel like I fit well into the scheme. I feel like I have a little more freedom here within the scheme. I'm being mindful of that. I feel like Coach Landon lets me make decisions whether or not, if I'm in man, if I feel comfortable pressing or playing off based on splits and alignments. I feel like when I was at Alabama, we didn't really have as much leeway when it was like regarding things like that. So that's probably what I would say I like the most. And when it comes to the fit, it feels seamless. I feel like I've known these guys for a long time. Definitely looking good right now.
A lot of times when players transfer, it gets losses. They're going to a new team, new atmosphere, but going to a new city, you have to adjust to a lot of other things as well. How's that transition been for you? What's the adjustment been like coming to Eugene?
The adjustments has been pretty cool. It rains a lot out here. That's probably my biggest downfall right now, just the rain. But it's pretty sunny today, and they said it's gonna be sunny on the spring game, so hopefully the weather's about to break. Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to about the spring game? What have you heard about it from last year? What are you expecting this year? It's going to be your first time playing in Autzen, right?
Yeah.
With fans, I guess.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to just seeing how the fan atmosphere is, seeing how loud Autzen can get. I hear they got a couple little traditions, so hopefully they can bring them out, see what they look like.
A couple other quarterbacks have mentioned that you guys have been kind of rotating around and looking at nickel as star safety. Have you been primarily just a cornerback, or you've been moving around as well?
Yeah, I play all corner. Only time I really am in a nickel position is if we're in base personnel and we don't have a nickel in, and I gotta travel over and stuff like that. But I just work at corner.
What do you see from some of the other cornerbacks in the room? Just from coming here and just seeing what their skill set looks like.
I feel like we've made a lot of progress from the start of spring to now. Felt like at first when I got here, I feel like this was a group who kind of joked around a lot. I feel like we didn't take it as serious. We were serious on the field, but when it came to off the field, not really preparing how I felt like we needed to actually really win. So I feel like that's something that I came in. I tried to let these guys know. And we practice early in the morning, but we shouldn't have to wait for something to happen in practice for us to wake up or things of that nature. We should come in the building already ready and be prepared, because the more you're prepared, the easier it is out there. The less you're prepared, the harder it is.
Notice that you were one of the players that really stood out to him on the defensive side. Just what are your goals as a defense going into a spring game that last year was mostly dominated by the offense?
Well, that's pretty self-explanatory then. Now that I know, I didn't even know that the offense really dominated last year. But the goal is, of course, for the defense to dominate, make it tough on the offense. Also play smart at the same time. We don't want to hurt each other, keep each other healthy. But at the same time, this is a ruthless game. So at the end of the day, defense trying to come out on top.
Coach Meade was saying that, Oregon doesn't really have a free agent-friendly defensive scheme, but you were someone that fit because you ran a similar scheme in Alabama. Is that partly why you wanted to come here?
Yes, that played a big role into me coming here, just knowing a lot of the terminologies, and really a lot of the wordplay is pretty much the same. It's just maybe 1 or 2 word differences, so that was a big part of me coming here.
What's it been like to get to know Coach Meade and kind of this coaching staff and just get ingratiated in that system and that quarterback room?
It's been good getting to know the coaching staff. I felt like since I was on my recruiting process till now, they've been the same. They're high energy. When I met them, they've been high energy since I've been here. And when it comes specifically to Coach Meade, he's been a coach who I would definitely say is like a father figure, as in he stays on me really hard. Regardless if he knows I'm making good plays or bad plays, he looks at me as a leader. So he lets me know I'm not going to really necessarily point out all your good plays. I'm going to more so harp on your negative plays so I can show the younger guys that we're looking at the bigger picture. We're not trying to get praised during practice. We're trying to get praised during the games.
Oregon lost Christian Gonzalez this past season to the draft. He's projected to be a first-round pick. You're the highest-rated cornerback transfer that Oregon brings in. Do you feel like you have to step in and try to be the Christian Gonzalez replacement as a lockdown guy, or are you just trying to do your own? You're trying to be Kyrie here.
I'm definitely trying to be myself, but also as in step in his role as in being a lockdown corner, not really having that side of the field you really have to worry about. That's definitely what I look forward to, but at the same time, bringing my own swag to the team.
I'm sorry if someone already asked you this, but you came over from Alabama with Trayshawn Holden. Was that kind of a collaborative effort? Did you guys talk about coming here together, or was it just kind of...
We didn't. Actually, when I came on my visit, I was surprised to see him. It wasn't even really something that we were planning. I think once we was out here together and we started to talk about what was his decision-making process and what was mine. But before we ended up out here on the visit, that's something that just happened. We just got lucky.
What are your early impressions of the Oregon wide receiver? You played against some great talent. Now you're here. What have you seen from Troy and the rest of the guys?
Yeah, Troy Franklin is definitely a big-time receiver. For somebody so tall, you don't really see somebody be able to move like that. He's real deceptive in his speed. He knows how to control his tempo. You got guys like Chris Hudson. He's more of the shorter, explosive receiver. I feel like we have a good receiving core. I'm expecting a lot from him. It's been a lot. Oh my God, I forgot about Tez. I can't forget about Tez Johnson. Fast. If you miss, he will bomb you, and that's what I'll say. We're looking forward to him during this season, making a lot of plays.
A couple of weeks ago, we asked Trequez Bridges to name the 5 best basketball players on the roster. He had you as part of it. Would you include Trequez in your 5?
I'm gonna be honest. No, I can't put Quez in my top 5 after what I've seen from him. But I will probably say, not including myself. You got Justice, one of our receivers is pretty good. Chris Hudson's pretty good. Trayshawn. And that would be my top 3. I haven't seen everybody right now, but those are my top 3 right now.
Anybody other than
TJ Ferg.
Terrence Ferguson, yeah.
TJ Ferg. Yeah, TJ Ferg. I heard he's pretty good, so we're going to see.
Good stuff getting to know Kyrie Jackson there from Tuesday after practice. And I'll tell you, I love the basketball question. There's so many guys on this Oregon football roster that have been so good on the basketball floor, right? We've seen that time and time again. Another new guy to get to know, Tysheem Johnson. We're going to do that when we come back. We've got Tysheem Johnson, going to hear a little bit from Noah Whittington, the full weekend schedule, final segment of Duck Insider before the spring game, next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Getting to know a guy who transferred in from Ole Miss, Tysheem Johnson. He was excellent as a freshman at Ole Miss, was a 24/7 Sports True Freshman All-American, 2021 Freshman All-SEC. Last year as a sophomore, he played in 13 games in the Rebel secondary, started 9 games at defensive back, finished third on the team with 78 total tackles. A guy who has been really productive in his career. And now hoping to be really productive for the Ducks, Tysheem Johnson talking with the media ahead of the spring game tomorrow.
What was it about Oregon that made you excited to come out here and pick the Ducks?
For one, Oregon been my dream school since I was a little kid. So when I hit the transfer portal and they reached out to me, it was like a dream come true. It made sense, a good fit. I'm playing at the same position I played at my other school, so kind of made the most sense for me.
Did you ever hear from them coming out of high school?
Yes, they offered me in high school too.
How come, if it was one of your dream schools, what was the decision like there not going with the Ducks then?
Because out of high school, they weren't, how can I put this, so much, they didn't recruit me heavy out of high school. They just offered me. I ain't really communicate with them as much as I did the school I ended up going to, so that was why.
How much of the ties with like Jaworski and Wilson just gave you some people here that you were familiar with?
They mean a lot because at Ole Miss, I mess with Coach Love a lot. Good guy, him, Coach Joss, DJ Beckham. So hearing that they was here, it made me want to come here even more.
Have you been cross-training much this spring? You've been playing primarily that star nickel spot.
Yes, I've been playing free field safety, boundary safety, star. They've been moving me everywhere for the most part. So can't wait till the season.
What are you expecting out of the defense in the spring game?
I don't want it to be a shootout. If it's 6-0, then I'm cool with that yellow team. But that just showed that both sides of the defense came to play. We did what we're supposed to do. So that's what I want to see.
What do you make of just the guys around you in the secondary? A lot of experience, a lot of returners, but also some younger guys. Just what do you make of you guys' group?
We were close. The older guys, we got some freshmen in the room, a lot of older guys. So it's just we always trying our best to help them, show them the right thing to do, and just keep growing.
Working mainly with Coach Hampton or Coach Laurie?
Coach Hampton.
Okay. What would you describe as your skill set from Ole Miss? Because just looking at your tape, you got a lot of nickel reps, a lot of opportunities there. So what do you feel like is your top traits?
I say being versatile, being able to play up top, come down in the slot, come up and make tackles in the run. So I think being my versatile skill set is what I would say.
With the rosters going public yesterday, I'm sure you guys have known for a little bit of the trash talk. Has the trash talk really started between the green and yellow?
Oh yeah, we was talking trash since we walked out of the tunnel this morning. So the game gonna be exciting on Saturday.
Who are some of the receivers that you're really keen on that opposite squad?
On the opposite squad, we got to worry about Trayshawn and Troy. They already know Bo gonna try to go to them a lot, so we gotta stop them.
You guys split up at all in practice and kind of seeing what it was like, green versus yellow? Is that something you guys have done, or are you guys going to kind of be going in it sort of brand new?
Today was the only day that we actually practiced like green squad versus yellow, so it was lit. Everybody we on the sideline getting turned, so can't wait till Saturday.
How do you feel about your team? How did you guys do?
I feel good. We made a little couple mistakes. We're gonna go clean it up, but we're gonna get the win on Saturday for sure.
Coming from Mississippi and the Southeast in general, culturally, I'm sure it's different coming out here. What's maybe made that transition easiest?
I would say the people here, the staff, the players, they welcome me in with open arms. Treated me like a brother since day one, so they kind of make it easy for me.
Any sort of ongoing wager between the two teams in the spring game, or is it all about bragging rights?
We've been talking, but I ain't putting nothing. We ain't putting nothing up yet. We probably about to go see what everybody talking about in the locker room now.
You called Oregon the dream school. What's just been your couple months like? What's been the last couple months been like for you? Now fulfilling that dream and being here. How would you just describe just this experience?
It's like it's overwhelming. Sometimes it seems real. Like sometimes I come to practice like, dang, I'm really at Oregon now. So just being able to put on for my people back home, they seeing this, it's like I get a motivation.
What have you heard about the spring game? Obviously, a lot of guys, veterans, have experienced it. Like, have you heard any traditions? What are you excited about?
I just know they said it's going to be packed in Austin. That's all I've been hearing. It's going to be lit. All the fans should come out and support us.
What was it about coming here, looking at Oregon's defensive system, what part about it did you feel like made you feel like you could succeed?
They play, it's a multiple defense, just doing different stuff in the back end, playing different coverages and how I'm be able to play the different 3 safety spots and move around to show my skill set. That's what made me really want to come.
I thought that was a really interesting point that he made. Like, he's got the ability to move around. Ducks are moving him around to those different safety spots. Shows versatility for the next level. Hopefully that ends up working out for Tysheem Johnson. We ran out of time. Won't get to Noah Whittington. It's available on the Go Ducks YouTube thanks to the Quack Video team. Man, I'll tell you, I think that the players really excited for the spring game. You know, like they're sitting here talking about how they're treating it like a game, and that's kind of how it was in practice on Thursday. It's fun to see that. You know, I'm really looking forward to it. So fans, again, all the details, GoDucks.com. Bring that non-perishable food to donate to Food for Lane County. Gates open at noon. 1:07, the official kickoff time. Green versus yellow. Going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. The spring game is one of the best days of the year. The weather looks great. Excited to have everybody there. Tailgating starts at 10:30 when the parking lot opens. Yeah. Everybody enjoy, all right? Baseball tonight. 4:45 pregame show on the Oregon Sports Network. Just after 5 o'clock, the first pitch. The first pitch will be thrown by Duck football quarterback Bo Nix this evening at PK Park. It's a top 25 series, Oregon and Arizona State. Softball yesterday, Allie Bunker hit a grand slam. Reagan Breedlove and Allison Benning combined for a no-hitter. Number 14 Oregon run-ruled Pacific 13-2. The Ducks are now in action today. Cal in Berkeley, 3 o'clock. The first pitch scheduled. We'll have some updates for you on the baseball broadcast tonight. Acrobatics and tumbling is in action. Good luck to Oregon lacrosse this afternoon. Track and field as well. This is a great time to be a Duck. We'll see you at PK, Autzen, Pape, everywhere else tomorrow.
Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5.